All right, we have Kyle Umlang on the pod. Kyle, welcome to Two Homers and a Realist. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are y'all doing?
Doing really good. Are you fired up for this game?
Yes, very fired up. I'm always fired up for OU weekend, especially especially this year because Texas is actually decent. So hopefully we can finally beat you guys.
Number one team in the country.
That's right. You're more than
Yeah.
decent.
You guare carrying the conference, is what they say. So,
Yeah.
Yep,
Well,
just
OU's
like
got to
OU
do
and
it
Texas
since
last
since
one.
Bama can't.
Yeah, they
right.
should. They clearly cannot.
Yeah.
Well, you were pretty good last year, and that was a really good game. It ended better for us than it did for you.
Yeah.
So, let's get into it. So, give me some frame of reference. How many OU Texas games or Texas OU games, as you may call them, have you been to?
4 or 5. I went to 05, 06, 07, 08, and then a random one after that. I don't know.
Okay. So, are you going to the game?
I am not.
Oh, okay. All right.
So,
Well,
Kyle, are you based in Austin, or where are you based out of?
No, I'm actually in Ohio.
Oh,
So
nice. Okay,
it's
makes
a lot
sense why you're
hard. I
not.
got family who
Easy to
lives
get.
right in Dallas, but it's still hard to get down there.
Yeah,
So
no doubt. It's a crazy weekend.
yeah, that's an expensive trip to Dallas, that's for sure.
yeah.
Tell me about it. So we three of us will be at
All
the
going.
game. Three of the four of us will be there.
Yep.
So it'll be how many for you?
It'll only be my sixth, I think.
Okay, how many for
This will be
you?
my 15th.
This will be my 41st
Yeah,
In
he's
a
a
row.
little. He's a little bit of an
in a
addict.
row.
In a row.
in a
Wow.
row. In a row. So it
How's the record? I'm sure someone has something close to that. That's got to be.
yeah, I mean I know there's some that are going to be able to eclipse that, but it's tough to do because just life happens. So it's just
Yeah.
been a little bit lucky fortunate for me that, or maybe I just structure my life around it. I make sure that I'm available second Saturday in October.
You just rip up any
So,
fall wedding invitations you get.
oh yeah,
around October.
that's a given.
Out of the question.
That
We don't become friends with people that have weddings or
right.
even funerals.
I have
That's
literally,
what
I've literally missed weddings,
Yeah.
and if you die, I'll send flowers.
Yeah.
I just tell
Wow.
people I'll go to the next one.
Either way.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like in from reading some of your stuff, I think you're riding kind of high. Does OU have a chance in this game?
Yeah, they do because it's the Red River game. Anything can happen. If 11-1 regular season 2015 OU can be beat by 5-7 Charlie Strong, anything can happen. So
That's true. That's how we look at it
I mean,
too. Yeah.
you saw it with the Dicker the Kicker game in 18, how y'all came fighting back at the very end and tied it up. You saw it with the 4 overtime game. You saw the coming back from up 28-7 game.
Oh, ain't nothing.
Even last year, we had a good shot, but something you can't predict or practice for are turnovers. We had one right off the bat, and I think got you, if not in the red zone, but close to the red zone, easy scoring position. That is not the way to start a rivalry game. So
No, definitely not. And you had then another one in your red zone where you're going in to score,
Right.
at least going to get a field goal out of that drive. Yeah.
and then
Yeah,
and then the first and
Goal
one
line.
goal line, 4 stops. I don't know how that happened.
Yeah.
So,
it's a game.
So-
It's a game of swings for sure. I mean,
Yeah,
I think,
it's those types of-
that's right on that, right?
yeah, those types of things you have to avoid if you want to win this game because that's all the other team needs, really. Stats come out the window. It's all about passion and emotion. They're all great players, so anything can happen.
So to me, the way the four groups set out, I think the best unit on the field is going to be the Texas defense. The second best is the Texas offense. The third is the Texas defense, and then of course, fourth would be the OU offense. So I really
Said
see
Texas
this.
defense twice. I think
I
you
did?
Yeah. So
Did you?
OU defense is the best unit.
Okay.
The
Yeah,
second
I was
best
gonna say,
unit is the
I think
Texas
OU
offense.
defense, yeah.
Yeah. Then the third is the Texas defense, and fourth is OU offense.
Gotcha.
So to me, it's all about what we can do offensively to try and move the ball. I think the Texas offense isn't as good this year as it was last year, even though it is good, and I think our defense has improved from
Mhm.
last year.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so
Your defense definitely has improved. But I think our offense is pretty similar to last year. we basically just plug and played from the transfer portal anyone we were missing.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah,
got
and I think that's what
wide
I'm
receivers, a
bummed
great
about,
tight end for
the
our
wide
offense.
receivers.
Yeah, so
Our offense is missing probably is the run game.
right.
I would like to see that going on Saturday, but
Us too.
we're on our
Well, for
third
us.
string running back, so who knows?
Yeah,
what
you're hurt at running back, similar to how we're hurt at wide receiver.
Yeah.
So both teams are feeling
Oh,
some
wide receiver
pain.
for us is much worse than their running back situation.
Yeah. Yeah, I said like, not exactly.
Down 5 starters at wide receiver is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very rough. So obviously, part of what we're going to try to do is integrate Michael Hawkins and give you guys trouble. Do you give any concern or worry to the fact that you really don't have a lot of game film on him to know exactly what to prep for, or do you think they'll be able to
No,
make adjustments?
because we've had years of film on certain quarterbacks and still can't beat them. So I don't think it matters how much film you have.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know. Who knows? Even if they were playing the other guy, they could have switched him out. And we would have been prepared anyway. I don't think it matters. I'm more worried about the offense scoring. If they can just score a couple times on y'all, I think the game will be over. Because I think
Yeah, I
y'all
think
have a lot harder
that's the tough
time
part.
scoring than we will.
Yeah, I think if we get down early in this game, it'll be a tough hill to climb. So where do you stand? Like you said, you mentioned your offense, the Texas offense. Where do you kind of stand in the Arch Manning, Quinn Ewers situation? I mean,
Yeah.
are you in the boat of excited about Ewers coming back? Are you in the
Oh
boat
yeah,
of yeah.
yours is a much cleaner player. He doesn't have the deep ball that Arch has, or the speed and like rushing that Arch has, but he's pretty. He's like a surgeon when he throws those balls from 1 to 15 yards. He's pretty accurate,
Yeah.
and he has 3 years of experience. So when Arch is throwing those stupid interceptions against Mississippi State, Quinn did that 2 years ago. He's not gonna throw stupid interceptions as often as Arch. So I'm just excited to have a veteran quarterback back because I think we'll have a better chance of winning. They're both great, but I think Quinn's more experienced and better.
Do you worry at all about the rust for Ewers coming back after missing 4 weeks?
Yeah, but this is his third season to get injured at the beginning of the season, then come back mid-season, and he always has been fine. And I think this is the slightest of the injuries he's had, so I'm not too concerned about it.
Yeah, it's almost like you guys had the Arch Manning option, and it gave more of an opportunity to rest Ewers when in other seasons you may not have been able to. So
Right.
that makes sense.
How many games has Arch played?
Played
Yeah.
probably 5 or 6. Started 2.
Okay. He's burned the red shirt.
That was last
No,
year.
no,
His
this
rookie
year-
Oh, you're right.
This year,
you're
I think
right.
he
forgot.
played in 4
I forgot
only.
you redshirted last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, my fault. So, when we look at it statistically, Texas's opponents don't match up real strongly either on offense or defense. Not that OU's have played a tremendous schedule yet, but
Yeah.
statistically, at least for what it's worth, they're quite a bit ahead of Texas. Does that give you any concern that Texas really just hasn't been tested?
No. I going into the season, I thought OU would struggle on offense, be elite at defense, and they've proven that basically so far. And then add in the injuries to wide receiver. I think I don't know. I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah. So, what do you, when you look at things you might be worried about, what would concern you in terms of what the Sooners, if they have success in this area, or what they could do to exploit?
If they march down the field first drive and score, shit, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
Because that's not something anyone on our team is planning for. So, I think first quarter we'll probably back and forth a little bit, maybe some couple 3 and outs for both sides, getting used to the environment and all that. And then I think maybe by second half they've each scored. There's probably gonna be some turnovers. It's probably gonna be a low scoring, close half score. And then I think third quarter Texas will finally find their groove and start scoring. And then by fourth quarter it'll be people leaving that it's not worth staying.
So when I look at OU and I get concerned about what we're going to have to be better at than what we've been and where our big weakness is, it's offensive line. Also quarterback play and decisions there. But if we can't protect, if we can't open up running lanes, and if we can't give our quarterback time in the pocket sometime to make throws, then we're dead. We're in real trouble. Do you have an area of concern like that for Texas, a weak area, or is everything just strong?
No, they've actually been playing pretty well along the defensive line this year. And we lost Sweat and what was his face?
Murphy.
Yeah, Byron Murphy. And they couldn't get to y'all last year. I remember I was like, we should have a lot more sacks, guys. What y'all are amazing. Why are they stopping you? So I honestly think we've looked better on film this year than last year in that area. I don't know if it's opponents or they've improved or what, but I'm not really that concerned about it.
Yeah, and I think that's such an area of the game, that battle up front, that at least in memorable games that I've been to where we've won or where Texas has won, dominating on the defensive line is such a game changer. I mean, to get a big sack in minus territory or anything like that, it just seems to be such a tone setter in this game. So that's my biggest area of concern. Like you said, Steve, I mean, if we had any ounce of what we've been doing in the past 5 games from an offensive line standpoint, it's not only the fact that we're giving up big plays, it's the fact that it's in OU Texas and the momentum going towards Texas in such a strong way.
Yeah,
could put it away in a way that we haven't seen yet. So that's my area of concern for sure.
And as y'all know, momentum is the killer in this series.
yeah.
All you need is momentum, and you can do anything in this game.
Yeah, you need.
It's just amazing to feel that move through the stands and sway between the two sides.
Literally.
And hear the sounds. It's just, there's nothing like it in college football. It's amazing. Yeah. Truly amazing. So one thing that I like asking Texas fans, and I don't get too many opportunities to do it, is when we talk about the thing that's obviously the trigger for Texas, it's horns down. And how is it that we should look at the Texas reaction to the horns down? And I'm talking about the desire to get it as a penalty, if other teams actually do it in a game, the desire, obviously, back in the Big 12 days to try and make it almost like if you did it in your own home, you would get a 15-yard penalty on your team the next time they took the field. Yeah. How do you feel about that, and how should we think about that?
Keep doing it. I think it's hilarious. I mean, y'all use it more than, I don't even know what y'all's hand sign is. Someone says it's this, but I've never seen Center do it. So I don't know. I think it's funny. I enjoy it. And nothing is better than when the team, or it doesn't matter the sport. I posted about it many times, but the best part is when someone does the horns down like before the game starts or when they're winning, and then somehow Texas comes back and wins it. That's like the best. Right. So I encourage that because it gives me hope that maybe if we win, I can embarrass this person.
One thing that I think is funny is OU fans, and I don't do it personally, but you'll see cameras panning when it's OU versus I mean Tulane or Kansas State, and people get the screen and they put the horns down. Yeah. I think it's the silliest thing, but it's almost, it's so far ingrained into some of these people where it's almost instinctual, I think. Yeah. I'm just immediately gonna do it. Like it's just
and the people that get offended by it, it's instinctually embedded in them for some reason. And I'm talking about the older crowd. Like I don't know any of me and my friends that care about it. It's more like my parents would care about it type of issue. Okay. So those people are on Twitter, not as widespread as the younger kids, but they're on there and they sometimes make us sound like whiny babies. So
well, that's sort of the impression we get, but to me, it would be a compliment if the other teams are always doing something that's a direct reference to my team. It's like, obviously they're thinking about you.
Well, yeah, and the top 2 hand signs in college football are hook 'em horns and horns down. Like we own both, so that's pretty cool.
You sort of own one. I don't know if you own the other one. I think we actually own the other one, but or at least you wouldn't claim it.
I meant to bring this to the show tonight, but I saw somewhere the Daily Texan posted, like, I don't remember the year. I think it was like 60 something when the very first like documented horns down was done.
Oh,
been
uh-huh.
going on
Oh,
since
they're
the
cool.
60s, apparently, just like in like photo evidence of it. So I think that's
Yeah.
Mhm.
pretty crazy.
That's
A long
incredible.
time.
That is crazy. It's it's funny to me. It's so obvious, but I guess it's somebody had to think of it. Somebody had to think, let's do this, and like, oh, okay, I get it. Um, it shows you how distinct the hand sign is because other teams have hand signs and we don't reverse them. We don't
Right.
reverse Oklahoma State stuff. We don't reverse
Yeah.
the Texas Tech
Tech.
The
stuff.
tech, yeah, the tech sheet.
Yeah,
They're not
any of
the
that.
wizard.
Yeah,
Or
I
the
don't-
or like, can you imagine
you
doing like
got-
a horned frog upside
Yeah,
down?
hard, yeah, like you twist
Don't
it
do
around.
that.
Just like
Yeah.
They might ask you to leave the
Maybe that's
stadium.
the reason. Yeah.
Who does the key? Who does
Oklahoma State and Kansas through keys.
the key?
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Wait, well,
Baylor does the bear
what's a
paw.
key? What's a key? I've never seen a key.
They do like they shake their keys before kickoff.
Oh.
And the running joke is they do it in Stillwater. And the running joke is, people are warming their cars up because OU's beating their ass so bad. So,
Yeah,
uh,
that's funny.
So, when you look out at the landscape of college football and Texas right now is number one, so
Yeah.
they're sort of in some kind of a driver's seat. Who do you feel like in conference and then nationally are going to be the biggest challenges for Texas between where they are today and getting to a national title?
Always OU, no matter what, OU will always be in that bucket. I mean, now you could throw A&M into that. I wasn't really worried about A&M, but now they got confidence. They've won like 5 in a row or whatever it is.
Yeah.
They're
And they have a
play, and their
sneaky.
schedule's not that
Yeah,
different.
I was gonna say it's a sneaky, easy
It's very
schedule.
favorable. So now I got to worry about that one. And it's similar to the Red River game because it's pure rivalry, hatred.
there's a lot of hate in that game.
inside
There's a
you
lot
and
of-
generations of family members. Like so anything can happen in that game. So having more of those types of games on the schedule is always a bad thing if you're trying to win.
Are you as nervous about the Georgia game now? I mean, I'm not saying you were initially, but I mean, starting the year, Georgia's the one you're circling after OU probably, or
Yeah.
equivalent to that. But how do you feel about the Georgia game next week?
No, I'm still thinking that like that's the game that defines our season pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a very important one.
Yeah.
Arkansas, Kentucky, nah, it's
Any
definitely.
chance for an overlook of this game because of Georgia next?
Oh yeah, there's always that possibility. But Sark had 2 weeks to plan for this. I don't think he overlooked it. So I think he'll be fine.
Who among realistic contenders would you like to see Texas face in the SEC title?
I mean, probably Bama. I don't know. I think we know their team pretty well. And
Not Vanderbilt?
no, I'm actually worried about Vanderbilt now.
Well, I mean, they do follow OU and Georgia.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all those off-season tweets I saw about with the screenshot of the all-time record, it's like 8-2 with Vandy winning, and their last game was like 100 years ago, but they still are ahead of us. People always post
Yeah.
that. That's the only team in the SEC we have a losing record to. So
That's
now I'm even worried about that just because of the
Right.
Yeah.
weird
That's
stuff.
funny.
Yeah.
That's very unique. So we saw that you made a score prediction. We always do score predictions on our pod. So
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you for a score prediction. You can have the same one or you can change it up if you have come to new information. How much is OU going to win by?
Negative
Quarter, they might be ahead. Might be like 10-7 type of thing,
Okay.
or 7-3 type of thing.
All right. So what's your final score?
Well, like I said, it'll be close at half. I think OU gets a field goal, if maybe 2 if they're lucky in the second half. Once we start jiving, so I'm going to say 35-13-ish, somewhere in there.
That's obviously a solid win. That more than covers the spread. Texas would have to feel really good about. You always feel good about a victory in this game, no matter what.
Right. Yeah.
But you have to feel very confident about that, and you're riding high. And OU, that would be a bad loss for OU, most likely. It's hard to think about how, with context, you could justify only putting 13 points on the board and giving up 35. But We'll see. I'll take the under on that.
Well,
On
didn't y'all
margin.
get 15 on Tennessee?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that's basically that.
Yeah, well, we're gonna go
Well,
ahead
Jack-
and not play Jackson
Yeah,
Arnold.
he turned the ball over 3 times in
Yeah.
the first half. One at the 5-yard line,
Yeah.
and then one at the
Yeah.
35-yard line.
That's
So
nuts.
so give us 30 since basically that's what we're able to put together. Mike
Three scores off of
No, we'll see. Anything else for Kyle? I know we want to be cognizant and respectful of his time.
Yeah.
Really appreciate you joining us.
Yeah,
Anything
thanks
else
for
you want to
anytime,
ask
guys.
us?
I love this stuff.
Do you get to engage with many OU fans aside from Blinken?
Oh yeah, they're actually I'm probably closest to OU fans than any other fan base besides Texas.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wonder
Like a
why.
lot of them,
Yeah.
a lot of them were like, "Oh, this guy is Texas, but he's cool. He knows what he's talking about. He's fun." He
Well,
doesn't
I
take
would
it
say
too
there's a
seriously.
lot of mutual respect that way.
Yeah.
You know, we
Yeah.
both respect the rivalry a lot. We hold it sacred. And each team is a part of that. You can't separate the other team away from what is that whole. And also just we respect the history, the tradition, the winning, a team that is matching up against OU versus these other so-called rivals that just year in and year out don't bring it and aren't competitive with. You know, we're competitive with Texas throughout the entire year because if we're not looking forward to the game, we're upset about how the game went, or we're happy about how the game went, or it's recruiting season and we're obviously competing. So
Yeah.
it's definitely a big mutual respect for sure.
Oh,
Well,
I
Kyle,
forgot to ask. How do y'all feel about the new 2:30 kickoff?
I like it. I like it a lot.
I love it.
Me too.
To
Me
me,
too.
the only negative is it makes getting home difficult. It was nice about the 11. You could at your leisure make your way out of the fair
Yep.
and drive home and get home at a decent hour. That was the only redeeming quality, but it made it the
Yeah.
night before so
think about
difficult. It
that.
makes the
Yeah.
morning so just pandemonium and stress. So this is going to be so nice. It's nice to set. We're going to be there for like 3 hours to yell at Texas fans. It's going to be amazing. That band, they don't
don't know
see me
what's coming.
coming. They don't know what's coming.
I'm
Yeah,
not
the-
looking forward to 97 degrees or whatever it's going to be.
I think it dropped down. I think it dropped down to 90.
Oh,
I saw like
okay.
93.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's still too much.
Yeah,
It's October.
Yeah. I was like, that's all bad.
Cool.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
No, I think
Yeah.
it's a good thing. I'm really excited for it.
I
I think.
totally agree.
Yeah.
I used to hate getting up at the crack of dawn.
Yes.
We got a parking spot on someone's lawn.
In the
Yeah.
ghetto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's also good that I think it's better for TV. So that is the prime spot. 11 a.m. is just, it's hard, I think, as a football fan who's not really attached to one of the two teams. And I think it's something that holds back Michigan, Ohio State. It's almost always at 11. And I think that weakens that game.
You lose a lot of the West Coast.
You lose the West Coast. You just lose a lot of the, I don't know, the feel and the ambiance. I'm not ready for the big game to be the first game.
Well,
on.
and building up throughout the morning is part of the whole thing.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
so
You know, the
eating
build up to the
12
game.
different times and like going through a 12-pack before the game gets going is a lot better than, racing home from the pumpkin patch
Right.
Yeah.
game in
Yeah,
time.
exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll still get the 12-pack in no matter what. They could
Yeah, always. But
we had the 10 a.m. Cotton Bowl kickoff in 2002 or 2001, and I got my 12-pack in. Don't worry about that.
nice.
Well, seriously, Kyle, it's been a pleasure.
Thanks again.
Nice meeting you. Thanks for joining
nice
us.
meeting you.
We'll stay in touch and
Best of luck.
at the very least try to do it again next year.
Yeah, for sure. I'll be
Or
there.
in the SEC title before the SEC title game when we meet
Yeah.
you guys. All right. Well,
I was gonna say, I
appreciate
won't
it.
be there, but you can still interview me.
Oh, okay.